You know what I do? No, you know how I do. I just do me. I just do me. I be getting that money. They know me for moving that tree.
What's up, world and TYS family? Y'all already know what time it is, man. It's time for me to talk my in today's video. Like, I I want to touch on a touchy subject because it's crazy. You know, we live in a world and we know the world not perfect, but for a lot of people to think that racism don't exist or that black people use racism as an excuse is like beyond me, right? And before we start this video off, I got this nice vest, heated warm vest for Christmas. Is a Votech vest. Milwaukee make them and everything too. So if you out there in the construction site, construction world, you might want to get you one of these Votech vests. You know what I mean? Stay nice and warm. Be nice and heated on the construction site. And no, this is not an advertising video, but I'm just sitting here feeling it hit my body right now, how warm I feel, and it just made me, but this is advertisement, right? So we still doing that. We still looking for our subscribers, man. So the first 200 subscribers, this is a new channel and everything. So for the first 200 subscribers, once we hit that 200 mark, we're going to pick a lucky subscriber, one of the ones that, be active or whatever the case may be. And we're going to go ahead and bless them with $200, and so on and so forth. So that's how we're going to keep pushing. But back to business. So, it was this video I was watching on YouTube. So, I do little reactions or whatever, the videos or whatever. So, I was watching this video on YouTube where these people was being followed in an unmarked car. So what I'm assuming is, the cops tried to brake check the guy. And I've been in situations like this before. It just wasn't with an unmarked car, but I'm assuming the cop tried to brake check the guy, and it made the guy upset. So your pettiness kind of kick in, and then you try to speed around and get into the front of that person and do the same thing to kind of show them how it feels, right? Now, unfortunately, this guy must have did it with it. I mean, not even must have, but this guy did it to an officer. Nonetheless, the car was tinted or whatever. So, the cop did follow him and everything for some time. Never threw on his lights or whatever the case may be. So, most white people wouldn't understand this if you don't come from the environment that most black people come from. And just because a black friend or whatever the case may be doesn't mean they come from that environment either. But it's survival out here. So if you got a unmarked car and that's following you, and I done seen cops in different foreign cars, pickup trucks, all types of stuff. And then when they throw their lights on, it's like, oh snap, I ain't even, like that. You wouldn't even know that's a cop. But he following him or whatever the case may be. And then the guy rolled down the window and saying whatever he's saying to the cop. So then the guy pulls off the highway, then pulls into the Lowe's and all that, and the cop never throws on his lights, never. So the guy hops out the car. Him and his girlfriend hop out the car. And that's when the cop get out and be all aggressive. But the whole time is like, I don't know who you are. You following me or whatever the case may be. You're not letting me know that you law enforcement or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna hop out aggressive or whatever. And I guess people in these comments expect this guy to get out the car, and then once you see as a cop, it's like, oh, like no, you already on defense, because it's like, one, like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like you already on defense, so yeah, you upset. So even when he went to go lock him up, now the guy was being an a-hole, but he still was complying with what the cop said, or whatever. The cop just didn't like how the guy was responding to him. Now, all in all, I watch a lot of cop videos because I want to get my reaction on some of the good ones or whatever. But I've seen how cops react, and also being in my own situations. I've seen how cops react when it comes to black people. I also see how they react when it comes to white people. Prime example: black little kid playing with a toy gun. Cops pull up, they shoot him. White kid shoots up a black church. He gets arrested. No shots fired. Even put in a bulletproof vest to get walking down to the cop car and everything for their photo op. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big difference in America when it comes to how minorities are dealt with and how white people are dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody want to sit there and try to defend the fact that it is, Like either one, you're not open-minded or open-minded enough to be able to see the difference. I mean, or you might just low key be a little racist, right? Because that's a big difference. I mean, like even with the Sonya Massey situation, like once her situation happened, and then you seen that wasn't nobody prowling around her house and all this and that and the third, and you can kind of tell that she might not be all the way there mentally. Y'all should have left. Like it was no reason for y'all to be in her house. You know what I'm saying? So, like the situation would have been never even happened if y'all would have just left after y'all did your job, what she called y'all for. Y'all checked around the perimeter, did all that, whoop, this and the third. You seen it wasn't no threat. Keep it pushing, right? But digging into this cop background, and then you seen what type of person he was, right? And not to say that all cops are racist or all cops, they let that badge kind of take over when it comes to dealing with black people, right? Or minorities in general. That ego kick in, they be on a little power trip, right? Um, but for people to not try to identify that this is a problem, it's sad. And it's like just reading some of the comments and then to think that, you know, um, black people try to use this as an excuse or a crutch or whatever the case may be is I think it's just kind of crazy. Another prime example, right? This on a whole different, scale of situations. But prime example, I know someone, right? I know this young lady. She been working in a job for over 10 years, right? She been working at a company for over 10 years, right? She started in this program when the program, it was new. Like, so she was one of the people that kind of helped build this program. She's a black lady, right? So, as the program goes on or whatever, start building or whatever, they start adding different roles but most of the people that, does the grunt work are African American women, right? So now once you started creating all these higher management positions, right? You would think, okay, let's give it to somebody that's a little more experienced with our situation and what we got going on instead of trying to bring people from elsewhere. Let's try that, right? And now mind you, I can see if you just because you got some of those people that just go to work and they just going to work and then they going home. They ain't trying to better themselves and nothing. She went to school twice, paid for by the company, right? Working on her master's, about to graduate, getting her master's or whatever. And you know, she's done a lot of got a lot of personal accolades in terms of bettering herself inside the corporate world, like getting orange belts and all types of stuff. I ain't a corporate guy, but so I can explain to you all of them, but little things that they do offer, she goes out and she seeks and she tries to conquer, right? Um, Mind you, people that they put in these positions, she know more than them to the fact that like they're stealing her ideas, and then they'll take her ideas and now they present them to upper management and all that as if they was their ideas, right? They're coming to her, asking her how she's doing this and how she's doing that, blah blah blah, right? So then when she came to them and then said something, they want to kick back to her. Oh well, we can make you the lead of leads, right? We can make you the lead of leads, right? The lead of leads. What is that? Yeah, man. And then what I get from it is because again, they got a whole bunch of black women that's doing the grunt work, and then all of the leads are black women, and they have a lot of issues. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and pass this off to a black woman so she can have to deal with that and deal with their attitudes and all that. And then the upper management ain't got to worry about it. But yet, the people that's in the upper management, she just as qualified as them. She's more skillful than them. She's more resourceful than them. But yet, y'all don't consider her. She's not in consideration for none of these upper positions, right? But these are the things that's not talked about, right? Because I guarantee you, if she was a white woman or a white man, she would have been in a higher position than she would have in her company, right? But being as though she's an African American woman, they kind of giving her the short end of the stick in a sense, right? We're gonna give you a little bone, but we ain't gonna give you too much to chew off of, right? She's not the only person in this position or that has to go through this in the corporate world, but a lot of people, African American people, go through this in the corporate world, right? And just because somebody is of somebody or know somebody or whatever the case may be, or you just that right complexion, they get more chances or more opportunities than somebody who's actually better for the job, right? So again, if we can sit and then try to act like um, this is not a problem, then the problem is the problem is bigger than black culture. Because I'm gonna read some of these comments, and they make it seem like it's just black culture, but racism is not a word, right? Racism is not a word; it's a system, right? And if you can't identify that, take that with an open mind, and then see, okay, well, how can we? Because you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. Yeah, man, you're not trying to make it no better. All you worrying about is yourself, and then you want to point fingers at people who do point it out, and then say, oh, they're just using this as an excuse or whatever the case may be. If you made it this far into the video, I'm gonna give you a hand clap because y'all the real MVP. But I need y'all to do me a favor, right? Because without y'all, there is no me. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure your notifications are on for the drops. Drop a little comment, man. Let me know how y'all feel, you know what I mean? And how we do it over here. Back to business, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna read some of these comments, right? So what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna cross out their names, but one of the comments say, I have a buddy from Australia, and he's consistently amazed at how ratchet and ghetto black culture is in the U.S. He's in Australia. The worst things that go on that go on are the town drunks running their cars off the road. Now, to this guy, because I'm pretty sure you don't hang around too many black people. All you see is what you see on the internet, right? Um, and if I want to make anybody look like anything, all I got to do is promote what I want to promote. But I can tell just from that comment, you don't know too many black people, or whatever the case may be. Doesn't matter where you're at. Every city, every town, or whatever got a ghetto. And trust and believe, all of those ghettos are not full of black people, right? But here you go. We the ones that get pointed out and put on a pedestal, right? What a wonderful job, mom and dad. You truly raised some amazing kids, right? Okay. How about America raise these amazing kids? We act the way that we act because of the position that America has placed us in. The system that has been put in place to keep blacks on the defense. Sorry, young lady. Everybody don't have a comfortable life and have it easy and can mess up and get a slap on the wrist or came from money or whatever the case may be. Sorry, because when black people did build something for themselves, it got bombed by whites in America. But and it's the guy that was you know saying what he's saying to me. But it's funny they never bring up the same types of unfortunate incidents that also happen to people with different colors. They love playing the victim role. Sorry, sir. Actually, we do. We speak for minorities, not just blacks, because it ain't just blacks that go through it. It's Hispanics and everything. Um, I've seen white people square up with the police. A taser don't even get pulled out. Let a black person throw his hands up to the police, you're gonna have tasers and guns pointed at them. Plus the whole troop trying to take them down. Let's be real. 12% of the population, 90% of the problem. 12% of the population, 90% of the problem. Again, we're not put in the same circumstances, my guy. We don't have the same opportunities. So therefore, it's survival of the fittest. Some people are fortunate enough to make it out. Some people don't. So of course you're gonna get more people that fall victim of the system than ones that actually make it out. Why is it that you go to a white community and you know you don't really see liquor stores, you don't really see beer stores, none of that. But you go to a black community, you got liquor stores on. I ain't gonna say every corner, because you don't got liquor stores on every corner, but you got them in a certain block radius. You got beer stores or delis on a lot of different corners and placed by schools and I mean, it's a design, man. It's a design. Like so until we come together as one and figure this thing out and get y'all boot off our neck, then we're gonna continue to deal with this problem. Um, but it ain't just black people because the majority of the black people don't own the properties where they live at. Just saying. Racism is a system. It's not words. Nice try though. And that's because everybody want to say, oh, well, what racial slurs did the cop use? Blah, blah, blah. But as I said again, it's a system. It's not something that's always said. It's things that's being done. And it doesn't happen to the other side. I like this comment. Never been a thug in my life and consistently been harassed by police. What now? I'm glad he said that. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to be a part of the things that you would think that a cop should be targeting. At the end of the day, a lot of the black people that come encounter with the police only committed one offense, and that was being black. Other than that, once they encounter you, they're gonna find a reason to pick cuffs on you, even if they don't have one. They're gonna find a reason. I've been in situations like that plenty of times. Prime example. Um, the last two cases that I had, one of them just got my license back or whatever from being on a DUI. Just got my license back. Happy. Boom. Riding down the street. It's a nice day outside. My window was rolled down. I ride past a cop. They pull me over. Right? So when they pull me over, ask my license and registration. So I give it to them. The breathalyzer goes off of my car. The one cop amazed at the breathalyzer. The other cop, he started interrogating me as if I didn't have a license. So, I got a little upset and I asked him, well, do you think I would be driving this car if I didn't have a license? So if I can choose any car that I want to drive, why would I want to drive one that have a breathalyzer in it? Like, a dumb question. He didn't like that I asked him that question, and then he want to get upset and they want to yank me out the car. So they pulled me out the car. They searched my car, and they found absolutely nothing but an empty bag of weed. An empty bag of weed, right? So the cop comes to me and say, well, since you want to act like this, matter of fact, it was weed in the bag. It was weed in the bag. So the cop said, since you want to act like this, and mind you, this is the time they was doing all these killings and everything. That's all you hear on the news. So, of course, black people are already on the defense when it comes to cops. So a guy walking down the street, so they pulling out my car and everything. So, I yelled to the guy like, yo, can you record this? I don't know what y'all got going on, what y'all going to do, but listen, can you record this? That made the cops furious. So they throw me in the back of the car. Since you want to act like this over a bag of weed, we're going to lock you up for a DUI. Right? Cool. I just came from church that day. I just came from church. Just dropped my girlfriend off. I went to the house to go change. And then I'm going back to the house. We was going to chill. I was going to smoke my weed there. We was going to watch movies. Cuddle. It's a Sunday. We got to go to work Monday morning. You know what I mean? So I don't smell like weed. I ain't doing nothing, right? I ain't doing nothing. They locked me up. Now, they already knew, one, I had a history with DUIs because you got the breathalyzer in the car. Two, you already knew I smoke weed, so if you test my blood, boom. We're gonna have weed in the system. So the DUI should walk, right? They fabricate all of this. Oh, we smelled weed on him, his eyes was bloodshot, blah, 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 all this cool stuff. Get down to the jail cell, the person that intake you and all that, she get on the stand, she lie, oh yeah, I smelled the marijuana, blah, blah, blah. But the mugshot ain't showing those same bloodshot eyes that they refer to. So you mean to tell me, over a matter of, an hour, all of a sudden my eyes ain't bloodshot no more? It was that bloodshot and that low that I deserved a DUI, but the mugshot don't show this, right? But all in all, they fabricated a whole story on me. Long story short, my lawyer wound up getting it thrown out, and I only had to plead to possession of paraphernalia, right? Because the cop story wasn't lining up. But all in all, lawyer got this joint thrown out, right? Now the next one I got, it was me trying to purchase a gun, right? So after I got off probation for the possession of paraphernalia, I tried to purchase a gun. So filling out the form is a little tricky. So Anybody that's trying to purchase a gun, and if you got any juvenile record or whatever, read that form carefully, right? Because although it says, you know, um, have you been locked up for any of these crimes? There's a lot of trickery with the law. Like, oh, your record will be expunged, and then once it's expunged, you don't have to mention it. Pretty much, once it's expunged off your record. Um, the form doesn't say anything like juvenile. Like it doesn't specifically say juvenile. It's worded in a way that you really gonna have to like search. And if you filling out a form, you taking the words from what they are, and you knowing in your head, well, listen, I haven't been convicted of none of this as an adult, and all you know is your juvenile record been expunged, right? So boom, fill out this form. A few months later, cop called me, asked me questions. So I'm explaining to the cop, like, yeah, I did that, this, and the third. Then he started talking about my juvenile record. I explained to the cop on the phone, hey, well, I didn't, I didn't, crazy how my vest still going. That joint's still on, man. I'm trying to tell you, get that Voltec vest, man, nice and warm. But I explained to him that, when I was 18, I was able to purchase a gun from the store, this, and the third. Now, he knew what I was saying was true because that same gun that I was able to purchase had got confiscated, and I'm not even gonna get into this story, but it was, at somebody's house and it got confiscated. So when they did the research on that and they seen, oh, all right, well, he did have a gun in his name. He trying to make it seem like, oh, well, I was trying to defraud the system, right? Now they gave me a whole case behind this. I had to go to court, go to trial, all this. I was in Bucks County, so if anybody that's familiar with the PA area, I live in Philadelphia. I went to Bucks County to try to purchase this gun. Um, but Bucks County is a predominantly white area, right? And they really don't got, and most you probably get out there is DUIs, right? I mean, not to say nothing happened, but the most you probably get is DUIs, right? But now you got this black kid that came to your area to try to purchase a gun and not understanding the gun form. And long story short, like I wound up just taking the deal just to get out the way instead of having to spend all this money to go through trial. But even the judge, when he seen me accept that plea, sat there and looked, and I'm actually upset that the judge, because you could at any given moment say, you know what, man, I'm throwing this joint out because y'all trying to railroad this guy for no reason. But at them systems don't care. All they see is all they thinking about is money for their counties, all this cool stuff. But he seen when I was accepting the deal, and then he looking at it, and he just looking at me in my face, and I can tell in his head he's sitting there saying like, "Damn, y'all doing this man dirty," and he ain't even really do nothing. Like you locking me up, and then mind you, when I got denied for the gun, I immediately sent the letter to the state questioning about my denial. So clearly, um, in order for you to try to commit fraud, you have to know and willingly do something, right? You have to know and willingly do something. So I willingly filled out the form, but I didn't know that I was filling out the form incorrectly and had to disclose my juvenile record. And this letter showed this. And my first time going to court, like, and my first time going to court, I showed this to the preliminary judge. I showed the letter that I sent to the state to the preliminary judge. And it just shows you how corrupt the system is and how race and all this plays a part. When I showed this to the preliminary judge, me sending this letter that had the stamp by the state on there to show that they, received the letter, but pretty much asking the state why was I denied, my right to purchase a gun. I have never been locked up for anything that would stop me from purchasing a gun. Yes, I was recently on probation for paraphernalia, whatever the case may be. But to my understanding, that's a misdemeanor and it shouldn't prevent me from getting a gun. I completed all my probation requirements and all this. Woo, woo. So why am I being denied my right to purchase a gun? And that's when they sent me a letter back saying, hey, get juvenile record. Cool. Showed this to the judge and everything, right? His face turned red, right? And then came up with some old bullcrap excuse as to why they still moving forward with the charges. Long story short, if I was a different color, I'm 100% sure that thing would have never. First of all, it probably wouldn't have even made it to the preliminary. Yeah, I mean, because when I sat there, had the conversation with the cop, he hung up the phone and took like 3 or 4 weeks to even call me back to say, hey, we gonna move forward with the charges. That was them trying to find every loophole that they can to go through to stick these charges on me. You know what I'm saying? Even though he know, like, bro, he didn't purposely try to fill out this form to defraud the system, but I mean, it is what it is. So, again, this is the system, that we living in, and black people are at a disadvantage. And unless you're from where we from and actually seen the things that we have to go through, or whatever the case, or you're a part of this system and know how blacks are getting railroaded and all this, you would never understand. All you're doing is looking from surface level stuff and making an opinion instead of making an informed opinion and looking at all sides. You just think everything is black and white and there's no gray area. You know what I'm saying? Whereas though we're operating from inside the gray area, we understand the black, we understand the white, but we got to operate from within inside this gray area. If you made it this far into the video, I'd like to thank you. Y'all the real MVPs. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, drop a comment, let me know how I'm doing. And you already know we doing the giveaway. Once we hit those 200 subscribers, we're gonna pick a lucky subscriber and go ahead and bless that subscriber with $200. Back to business. But all in all, if you know, you know. So, and I feel as though some things, white people, you shouldn't give your comments on unless you fully understand all sides. Somebody else comments, what did the officer say that you consider racist? Again, being racist doesn't mean he had to say anything. It's the actions that leads up to everything, or whatever the case. Now, here we go. This is the guy that I was talking to. So, the guy made a comment and said, I lived in a place where I was one of the few white kids, there and dealt with racism every day. But it didn't shape me or give me a chip on my shoulder. And I grew up as an adult who took responsibility for my actions and didn't blame the past and use the past as a crutch in life. Now, one, I find this hard to believe, right? That you grew up in the black area and dealt with racism, right? Now, granted, they might have picked with you a little bit or made fun of you or whatever, but if you want to be honest, most white people that live in the black area, they're befriended by the black people, by the blacks that live in that area. And now, unless you come off a certain type of way or whatever, that's when the tables turn or whatever. But for the most part, they don't sit there and try, just because you white, we gonna do this or say this or act like this or whatever. Like, nah, that's not how I go. Because 9 times out of 10, that's probably gonna be one of the coolest white person you ever meet is ones that actually been in your environment or understand your environment. So I find it hard to believe that you dealt with racism every day, unless you grew up in a time where segregation was heavy and whites couldn't walk through black neighborhoods and black couldn't walk through white neighborhoods. But then if you was growing up in that time, I would also find it hard to believe that you lived in a black neighborhood. But then he goes to say, no one deals with racism every day. Some people have a weak mentality, so they see racism in every fabric of life. It's a way. First off, it's a way instead of a way for them to mail excuses. I'm guessing that's supposed to be make excuses and divert from personal responsibility and accountability. But yet, the comment before is he dealt with racism every day in the area that he lived in. You know what I mean? This is why I had to stop with this guy, because he was contradicting himself. But now is a way for people to make excuses or whatever. Sir, it's not an excuse. Again, unless you're actually like around or been inside the system that or that you're a part of the system that keep black people at a disadvantage, you would never understand and you would never see it. So no, you don't deal with it in your face on some everyday stuff, and no, black people don't use it to not take accountability. But 9 times out of 10, when you're being approached by law enforcement, I ain't even gonna say 9 times out of 10, but depending on where you live at, I'm gonna say 7 times out of 10 when you're being approached by law enforcement, the main reason that you're being approached is because you're black, and then they find a reason to try to lock you up. It's just like you walking into the store and then people paying attention to you just because you're black. Like, so nobody walked up to you and sat there and said, "Oh, what you doing here, nigger? What you looking for, nigger?" Like, no, nobody did that. But why are you staring at me? The mere reason just because you're black and you're inside the store, and they think either you're gonna steal or you can't afford nothing. So why are you in here? But you wouldn't understand that. Then he goes and say, laughing, just some more excuses for you to divert from your accountability. Y'all are such a protected class, and I'm glad the dudes I ran with growing up didn't have your mentality. You aren't a victim, and you aren't oppressed. This this guy, we didn't even have a real conversation for you to know how I think. That's one, and two, the majority of the questions that I was trying to ask was to kind of bring the prejudice side out of you, um, because it sounded like you want to say something, but you don't really want to say it. So I'm trying to get you to say what you're really trying to say. Yeah, man. No, I don't use racism as a way to play victim. If I make a mistake or I do something, I take accountability for what I've done. But I'm also not naive to the fact again that race plays a big part in how a lot of things go out here. Um, Prime example, you can be at the same job with a person of another color, but yet that person of another color might be making $15 an hour and you only making 12. Why? Because you're black. And skill qualifications ain't got nothing to do with it. It's merely just because you're black. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying everywhere is like this again, but it is a lot of places, and this is why they don't want you to discuss pay rates at jobs, so that picture can't get painted. You know what I mean? But all in all, again, I'm not naive to the fact of what's going on. I don't dislike people, but because of the color of their skin or who they are or the class that they in or whatever the case may be. If I don't like you, it's because I personally got a problem with you, and who you are, what race you are, is not going to play into that. But I'm also not naive to the fact that we are at a disadvantage out here when it comes to you know race, rather it be workplace, dealing with the police, or just in regular everyday society. Like it's really a problem out here, and until people start trying to acknowledge it and think just because it's 2024 and racism ended way back when, over 400 years ago, or not racism, slavery, racism has just been swept under the rug. It's not here no more, which that is false. It's very much still the case. It's very much still around. It's very much still a problem. Um, and until we acknowledge it, then it's always gonna be here. You know, like Main Man said, oh, people, 6 to 9 year olds get shot, and don't nobody want to say nothing. Don't nobody want to say nothing. One, because they fear for their life. Cops not gonna protect you. They can't protect you. They ain't gonna become your personal bodyguards. So they in fear for their life. But um, with that same concept, with that same concept, why don't nobody say nothing about you know how society keeps blacks at a disadvantage? Are you speaking upon that? Or no, you just want to look at it like blacks is using it as an excuse. So one got to take accountability. Like you got to make that make sense. Like y'all want us to speak up, or y'all want us to speak up on the things that's going on in our neighborhood, but y'all can't speak up on the things that go on in y'all. You know what I mean? And y'all keep trying to throw you know all black people inside this little bunch. Yeah, you know what I mean, like do we do that to y'all? Do we sit there and say all white people are serial killers or pedophiles, rapists? Like we don't sit there and do that. Like no. So for y'all to sit there and try to look at these videos and think it's a black culture, when I'm pretty sure y'all don't even know 20 black people. And then I can guarantee you, if you do know 20, that um I can guarantee you half of them not like these people that y'all be seeing in these videos. Because the people that y'all do see in this video, I'm pretty sure y'all don't even come around unless you're a person that has a job in the city. I'm 100% sure you don't even come around. And again, the people in the city act the way that they act but because of a system that's been put in place, you know, why don't we got our Family Matters no more, and you know, different worlds and stuff like that. You mean why won't got those shoes no more, our shows no more, or our conscious music now? Because I know we don't control no TV stations or no radio stations. I know we don't. But why is it that all black music or the majority of black music that gets promoted is provocative or about, you know, killing this person or killing that person and running off on the plugs and doing this and doing that? Like, why is it not positive? You know, why is it not, you know, um, make it out, and when you know, when you get out, you know, reach back behind for the ones that stuck and help them. You know, why is it not go to school and get an education? Right? Why is it not that? Huh? Like all the shows that was on TV, the Cosby's and all that promoted healthy and prosperous blacks. Where all that's going? Even when y'all came out with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the remake, when y'all came out with it, what, Ashley, she lesbian now. Carlton's what, cokehead. What, Uncle Phil, or what, corrupt politician or a lawyer or something like that. Jeffrey's a gangster. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like this is the image that this is a part of that system that's put in place to help destroy blacks, to help keep us at a disadvantage. You know, again, we need to talk about it. You know, somebody got to. We need to talk about it. You know what I mean? But again, you know, if you made it this far in the video, you know, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Drop that comment. Let me know how you feel about the video. You know, without y'all, there is no us. Some of us really, truly understand that. And that's why, since I know that, my first 200 subscribers, I'm trying to bless one of them. Because without y'all, there is no us. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna hold y'all too much. I ain't gonna hold y'all no more, man. That was just something bothering me, and you know, it needed to be said, man. It needed to be said. Like this is a conversation that, you know, we need to have. And of course, you know, we gonna come with a part 2. But until then, y'all be good. Peace, love, and hair grease.
You know what I do? No, you know how I do. I just do me. I just do me, I be getting that money, they know me for moving that trick. I just do me, if you down with the team, it's like this, we gon' make sure you eat. I just do me, I just trap and get money, you broke, you got nothing on me. I just do me, I just stick to the script, get money, that's me. I just do me, I be trapping all day, take account for that money, then breathe. I just do me, so I stay with my strap, cause I'm always running these streets. I just do me, I just do me.